Imagine finding out your boyfriend and your best friend, the two people you trust most, are sneaking behind your back. Would you cry? Would you scream? Or would you get even? They say betrayal never comes from enemies. And I believe that, until the two people I trusted most shattered my heart in the worst possible way. It all started with small, almost unnoticeable changes. My boyfriend Jake had always been attentive, texting me good morning, checking in during the day, and making plans for our weekends together. But then he started pulling away. His responses became shorter, his plans more uncertain. "I've been busy," he'd say when I asked why he hadn't called. "I'm just tired," he'd mumble when he barely kissed me goodnight. First, I blamed myself. Maybe I was being clingy. Maybe I was overthinking. But then there was Lisa, my best friend, my ride or die. We'd been inseparable for years, sharing secrets, dreams, and everything in between. But lately she'd been different too. Canceling plans last minute. Taking forever to respond to texts. And sometimes when I walked into a room where she and Jake were talking, they'd get quiet. My gut told me something was off, but I didn't want to believe it. Until the night I found out the truth. It was a Friday night. Jake had told me he was working late, and Lisa had a date with someone new. I was home alone, flipping through Netflix, but something inside me wouldn't let me relax. A gnawing feeling that something wasn't right. So I decided to call Lisa just to see if she was actually out. No answer. I called Jake. Straight to voicemail. My stomach twisted. Was I really about to do this? Was I about to become that girl who spies on her boyfriend? I grabbed my keys and drove to Jake's place. His car was parked outside. The house was dark, but I knew him. He always left his porch light on. Something was wrong. I let myself in quietly. The living room was empty. But then, I heard it. Soft whispers. A laugh. Coming from his bedroom. My breath caught in my throat. My mind screamed for me to turn around, to walk away, to pretend I didn't know what was happening. But my feet moved on their own. The door was cracked open just enough. And what I saw will be burned into my memory forever. Lisa. In my boyfriend's bed. My vision blurred. My heartbeat pounded in my ears. My whole world collapsed in an instant. I could have screamed. I could have barged in, thrown things, let my rage consume me. But as I stood there, watching the two people I trusted most betray me in the worst way possible, a new thought formed in my mind. Revenge. Lisa and Jake had no idea I knew. And I was going to use that to my advantage. A month later, our mutual friend Sarah was getting married. It was the perfect setup. An elegant ballroom, a massive guest list, and most importantly, a microphone that would amplify my revenge for everyone to hear. Lisa was the maid of honor. Jake was still my plus one, completely unaware that he was walking straight into his own destruction. For weeks I gathered evidence, screenshots of their flirty messages, photos of them together when they thought no one was watching, and even a security camera recording from my apartment of Jake sneaking Lisa inside while I was at work. By the time the wedding arrived, I was ready. The reception was in full swing. The bride and groom had just finished their first dance, and the guests were buzzing with energy. Lisa looked stunning in her maid of honor dress, glowing with confidence. She had no idea that by the end of the night, her reputation would be in ruins. The toasts began. Lisa was up first. She raised her glass with a bright, fake smile. "Love is about trust," she said sweetly. "It's about finding that one person who will never betray you." I almost laughed. When she finished, it was my turn. I stood slowly, taking my time, making sure every eye in the room was on me. I held my champagne flute delicately, as if I were about to deliver a beautiful, heartfelt speech. Instead, I smiled and said, I just want to take a moment to celebrate love. Real love. The kind built on trust, loyalty, and honesty. Jake stiffened. Lisa's smile faltered. I locked eyes with them, letting the tension build. And speaking of honesty, I continued, I'd like to share something special with all of you. A little reminder that not all love stories have happy endings. I turned to the DJ. He nodded. And then, on the massive screen behind us, the video started playing. At first, the room was silent. Then the whispers began. On the screen, Jake and Lisa were exposed in high definition, flirting, sneaking around, and then in bed together. The same bed where Jake used to hold me at night, whispering that he loved me. A gasp echoed through the room. Someone dropped their glass, the sharp shatter cutting through the silence. Lisa's face turned ghostly white. She shot up from her seat. This isn't what it looks like. Jake tried to grab my arm. Babe, I can explain. I jerked away, my voice ice cold. Don't. Just don't. Sarah, the bride, stepped forward, her expression livid. You did this? With my maid of honor. Lisa looked around in a panic, realizing she had nowhere to run. Jake turned to me, desperation in his eyes. Please, let's talk about this. I shook my head. No, Jake. You and Lisa deserve each other. And then, as the security guards I had arranged stepped forward, I delivered my final blow. Get out. Lisa stammered. But Sarah crossed her arms. You heard her. The guards led them out, Lisa practically in tears, Jake red-faced with embarrassment. And as they disappeared through the doors, the room burst into applause. I lifted my glass one last time. To loyalty, I said. And this time I meant it. In the weeks that followed, Lisa and Jake tried to do damage control, but the video had already spread. Their reputations were in shambles. Lisa lost most of her friends, and Jake? Well, he became known as that guy who got publicly humiliated at a wedding. As for me, I moved on. Stronger. Wiser. And with the satisfaction of knowing that when they played with fire, they got burned. Cheating isn't just about broken promises. It's about broken trust. And trust, once shattered, can never be put back together the same way. They thought they could get away with it. They thought their secrets would stay hidden. But the truth has a way of coming out. And when it does, it destroys everything in its path. Oh, every cheater out there, remember this. The thrill of deception is short-lived, but the consequences? They last forever. Loyalty isn't just a word. It's a choice. And if you choose betrayal instead, don't be surprised when karma chooses you. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and remember, betrayal always comes at a price. The only question is, are you willing to pay it?